What's up, guys? Tech Music, Tech Music. Today I've decided to show you the plugin tse ke di sebedisang mostly on my vocal chain, right? I know motho le motho o na le di favorite plugins tsa hae, so nna ke tlo bontsha tse ke di usang most of the time ha ke processa vocal. So yeah, ha ke na ho yona ba fetho without to senya nako. All right. The first plugin that I use in anything, whether it's drums, bass, melodies, whatever, it's an EQ, right? I don't necessarily use the Pro Q4 or the sound kaofela or everything in Kieta. Sometimes I use a stock plugin, Activate Fruity Loops, which is parametric EQ2, right? Yeah, that's why I started. But this one is more advanced. But the main thing I got long I use a EQ ha process the vocal attack. So what I do is a subtractive EQ, like haki boosty. Like I'd find maybe the frequencies that's in sharp or the boxy frequencies and try to notch them and whatnot. And then try to clean as much as possible. But again, I saw how clean a sound o tshwantse o e squash o e kwale because batho ba bang ke na le bona ba sebedisa the EQ ba hobane ba bone tutorial ya YouTube etsa so. Now I just remove what I hear. If I can't hear it, then I leave it there. And if it sounds great, like maybe it sounded the way ke ratang ka teng, then I just leave it there. Because every time we EQ a vocal, it will be different based on how you guys recorded, the equipment that you used, blah 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 blah. So ke yona ntho ya pele e ke etsang mo. Then the other thing I batlang go hlalosa gore what I'm giving you here is based on the knowledge e lo reng ke lene obviously bo YouTube and from other king producers, right? So whatever ke tlo bontshang yona ke the way nna ke treatang or I mean ke applyang certain plugins for the vocal. So if you see me using a CLA 2A, don't be surprised when I now use a RVox or use a standard or a stock plugin from whatever DAW you're using. I'm just showing you what I use and how it works for me in most cases, right? And I have reasons for that. But I'm just showing you the plugins in like the first and like for processing vocals. This is the first one, by the way, an EQ. I don't touch anything without an EQ, right? Then we go to the second one, the de-esser. This one haki apply hunto tsengada. It's for removing the S's, the T's, the P's, if they are hlaba, you know. So sometimes naluka motho analytic vocal abitsa di S tsa hae ka tsela e hlabang. So I use this just to tame those frequencies tse leng di a hlaba ke di se fatshe gore ke zame ho di hafola like hanyana. Wa bona? Then after that, then I jump to this compress. This one is my favorite, but that's a 1176. By the way, le yona ke a waves. I ke la wantse ke bula di plugins tsa waves. Ke tse ke di preferang. And then this plugin is very harsh. There's a blue one which is very harsh. Of it the blacky one, but I mostly use the black one. So I try to dial in based on how the vocal is recorded. And by the way, this plugin is vice versa. Like if you go this side, you're going fast. Then if you go this side, you're going slow. Same thing, le release ya ding, le attack ya ding. So it's not a normal plugin o tlo thola hore ele attack, ele ntoman, ele fast, ele slow. This one's vice versa. So be careful when you use this plugin hoodie vocal it's a house. So the reason you use this plugin ke for tamer those loud parts tsa the vocal whereby you thola vocalist ya bina and then at some point when you lose a vocal hole and then the better. So I use this plugin to tamer those parts. So usually what I get from other people you'd find that ke beile attack or maybe medium fast or sometimes slow, and then maybe what like ke beile this one here. It always works for me. I don't know why. Maybe it's the way ke rata ebang ka teng. And then the ratio yaka eba 4:1. So you see it's 4:1, 8:1, 12:1, and 20:1. But I always prefer 4:1. Then obviously it's gonna be on gain reduction, just to show you. So I'm gonna show you on my next video how to apply these things, and then I'll start explaining some of the knobs, how I apply them. But it's always gonna be different because pinal vocal different ka tsela yona. So it won't be the same settings throughout, but I was just showing you. Usually when I work with people, I end up in most of the settings, you understand? So that's why I use this one, but I only use it for those peak into parts that the vocal, not to process the whole vocal, but just to tame it so that it sounds even throughout. And then I move to the second compressor. So the second compressor is the one everything is smooth. This one is very simple, the CLA2A, and like I prefer this one just to smoothen out everything, right? Just to keep the vocal kaofela, and also to give it that, I'd say warm, yeah, but just to give the overall feel after I've tamed everything, the peaks, just to sound even. Then I add this one because I got to compressor you one two, understand? The first one, it cut off the peaks, it tamer down the peaks in a proper way. Then this one, it deal with the whole vocal and smoothens out the vocal. So this is the part whereby you reduce certain peaks because obviously not because of everything you do. The peaks. There are certain peaks that are in detail, but this one plays a role smoothing out the whole thing. That's how I apply it. So hey, that's not how this compressor is used. No. This is how I use it, and it works in most of my mixes, right? And then the pitch corrector, waves tune. Some people use auto tune, which is fine, but I love this one because I feel like it has the options starting to take it down. Not that the auto tune, the Antares version, but I just prefer this one. Like ever since this one, it makes my life easy. Obviously for vocals auto tune. If there's no auto tune, then it's fine. I just then move on. And then the last plugin for me, if you call it this, whatever. But the important part why do I use this plugin? So in most cases, I use it for boost. I get a subtractile, cleaner, vocal, right. So on the last part of my mix or my chain, then I just add this and then boost wherever I need to boost. Like if I feel like the vocal needs some brightness, if I feel like no, it's not doing justice, maybe I'll take a preset, then check, and then let's say maybe I just want vocal presence, and then I just adjust here and there just to give it into a short. I don't just apply everything for the sake of plugging it. So. And the last thing I use like examang avoid is to have presets. I know people would say, yeah, sometimes a session about like a preset so that you just dial in. I prefer doing everything from zero. I prepare a session. I just prefer working that way. I know everyone on let's but that's how I love to work. Okay, some people would say, no, maybe vocal chain we are short. I try to keep things simple. I don't use too much of the plugins. I try to record more to record the best parts so that we don't have to work our whole on the vocal. You know, I know some people would come and say, maybe a saturator. It will depend on what you apply on the vocals. You know, maybe o shota vitamin or shota what do you call this? Maybe plugging your saturation just to add some distortion or whatever. I understand. So this is my vocal chain in most cases, and on my next video I'm gonna show you how I apply all these things. I know some would say reverb guy. Reverb, yes, if a vocal needs reverb, that's when I create an aux channel whereby I route the vocal chain maybe to the reverb or the delay or whatever so that it applies on the vocal. Sometimes I don't need the whole vocal chain, maybe a certain part of the song, then I take that vocal and route it to a reverb channel. I get a reverb straight on this channel. I don't do that. I want full control on the reverb so that, or the delay, so that ke kgone we apply the way ke batlang we apply ka teng. I get the automation, I don't have to affect the whole vocals if ever everything ke routile mo. So yetsa mosebetsi wa ka hore be easy. Then if you want me to do more of these type of videos, because this is my first one, let me know. Maybe based on a compressor, maybe based on a DS and EQ. Maybe you've got a couple of questions. So if you want a video here, just let me know. I'll try to show you how I use certain things, how I apply them. Not how they are actually used, but how I apply them. And if something I use, guys, I try to keep my music simple. Okay? I don't do things if I want to learn something, then I can go and say, I'm a tutorial, or ask somebody who knows better than me about certain things. But in most cases, I get to win with my clients and it works. So this is what I use in most cases, and I hope I enjoy a video. If you love it, like and share the video with other people. This is Tech Music from Tech Music Productions. Sharp Buffett.